session, we'll do the Ferris wheel in the pelvis. I call the Ferris wheel the vertical circle that we can do with the top or with the bottom. So instead of a horizontal hip roll or pelvic circle, we're going to now do it in the vertical plane. It's a little bit more difficult to do. We're going to put one foot in front of the other. I like to use this not only for beauty of line, but also because you can make it look a little bigger by shifting the weight back and forth. Or you can simply stand and isolate that area. When you're not moving back and forth, we'll need to get a little bit better access to make it show up, which is starting to get into the belly roll. When we talked about the upper rib cage, we were training the upper abdominal muscles more, and now we're going to be training down into the lower abdominals. And to do a belly roll, of course, we have to be able to use all of that area. So we're going to do a deep tuck. If you haven't looked at my video on deep tuck and pelvic tilt, start with that one. So I'm going to move into a deep pelvic tilt, trying again to isolate the space there underneath my rib cage without collapsing the rib cage. That beautiful top line is so important in every dance form. You may also want to look at my video on the rib cage anchor. So although my chest is lifted and open, I don't feel that I'm poking the rib cage out, but that I have the rib cage anchor engaged and a nice open shoulder line. And we'll look at some videos in the future where we can work the shoulder line to make that nice and beautiful. So deep tuck, I'm lifting those pelvic floor muscles that we've talked about and feeling the belly button going back to the spine, but I'm also feeling that my spine is back searching for the wall. Then we're going to release just slightly, move forward, tuck the pelvis again. I'm shifting my weight now so that you can see it a little bit better. And this creates just a little bit larger movement than when I'm just standing in one spot. And I really need a good muscular articulation to do that. So moving forward, deep tuck, looking for the wall and moving back into my back foot. Sitting down again, not into hyperextension, just a little beyond neutral, and then scooping under, pulling this area together. Moving the mid-spine back to the wall, keeping that pelvic tilt, then releasing into neutral. It's not a big movement. As I said, it looks a little bit bigger because of moving my weight from the back foot, pressing into the front foot. Now, I'm going to go the other way, and this is a part that can be very difficult to do. It's a little bit of a belly drop. I'm moving the pelvis forward and into a slight curve. Again, it's not a big hyperextension, but it's a slight release in my low spine. Slight release. So when you're moving now back, looking for the wall, now looking for the wall with the bottom of the sacrum. The sacrum, as we talked about in one of my earlier videos, is like a keystone, and the pelvis articulates with the lower spine right where the sacrum is. Your tailbone curves down underneath. So I'm not thinking so much of my tailbone, but of that keystone moving back. So we're going to contract, and we're going to move forward, slight release, and then move that sacrum back. So now looking for the wall here. Tuck it up. Release, push back, suck it up. Release, push back, and suck it up again, changing from the front foot to the back foot. I'm keeping the upper body very quiet, not letting everything move at once. Let's do that with the music. Put the other foot in front now. I'm going to start now with tuck and release to the front. So going this way on the Ferris wheel. Tuck. around the other direction. Squeeze. Back. Squeeze. You may find this one more difficult than the rib cage circle. Everyone's different. My students often tell me they have a very difficult time isolating the upper body, but the vertical roll in the pelvis can be much more difficult because, again, we're always trying to avoid a super extension in the back. So that only allows you a very small movement. The effort in trying to do it is what begins to train the lower abs. These are very hard muscles for people to feel deep, deep down here. But in your effort to do that, you will get those muscles awake. Each time that I'm doing the deep tuck, the pelvic floor muscles are lifting up. They're contracting, and they contract. They support me, and they help to scoop out that area. You can look back at my other videos where we talked about the pelvic tilt and talk about the pelvic floor muscles. Trying to pull the sit bones at the bottom of the pelvis towards each other and suck the navel back, and that will funnel out all those muscles and make you very, very thin here and very lifted. This starts to engage the deep, deep abdominal muscles. So again, don't worry if you can't see anything moving in the mirror. The effort is enough for your brain to start making the connection.